Hey there, so after my last video I got a question about how to deal with haters. So I want to address this because ultimately a leader has to be that pillar of harmony in an organization. That they have to be the ones to bring all these different parts together so that they become more harmonious. And that's how real great business obviously works. And sometimes we can lose sight of that essence, that underlying essence of harmony that leaders have to be able to create due to whatever stresses that we're going through. And the word hatred is really just another word for disharmony. So I'm going to address how to really deal with that yourself and then how to deal with that with other people. Because if there is disharmony in our environment, then we have to look at, well, who really created that? You know, because people create the environment, but then we have to go, well, what creates people? What creates people that allows them to create harmonious environments? So, for example, if someone is having some form of hatred, either, obvious or conscious or unconscious or passive aggressive, whatever label we want to put on it, then we have to kind of address, first of all, ourselves. How in some way, shape or form, through our thinking, our feeling, our behaviors, our actions, did we create that sort of reaction coming to us? And because we all have a past and we're all not perfect and we still have to reap the repercussions of maybe not the best actions or behaviors in the past. It doesn't matter how far in the past they were, right? Things just play out. And they play out when they're supposed to play out. So, we first of all have to address that. Second of all, usually any external enemy has come from some internal enemy. So that internal enemy can be things like our own hatred, either towards ourselves or others. Our own sources of greed, jealousy, vanity, anger, false attachments. Right? And these, if someone is in hatred towards you, then somehow you've created that, either consciously, unconsciously, or subconsciously. So now let's turn the tables over to the other person. What is that person also going through? Obviously, when someone's expressing hatred, they're also experiencing that with themselves, right? I always have this saying that nobody really loves or hates anybody. We only really love or hate ourselves, and then we project it, right? So whatever we're perceiving or experiencing inside of ourselves, we naturally project that outside of ourselves onto other people. So that is also going on with that person. That person who is in disharmony or is in hatred is obviously having a tough time with their own life. And they also want attention. And maybe they're going about the wrong way of getting attention, but they're asking for attention in some way, shape, or form. So you've got to be also compassionate towards what they're going through that is causing them to project hatred in your direction. So the next thing you can do in terms of addressing the other person, obviously, as in the last video I suggested, just be neutral, be indifferent, ignore it, because you don't want to return that hatred, right? You want to end the cycle of hatred. But then if you want to take it another step further, if you feel it's necessary, and sometimes it's not, but sometimes it is. Sometimes you might want to communicate with that person. Reach out, hey, see, are you going through a tough time? Maybe there's something I can, help you with. What is it that you're dealing with that maybe I could help you with, right? Just ask those innocent questions and see if that also, piques their interest because you've given that attention back, that good, loving attention back. Then the other thing that can be done is that obviously you can take some action, right? So there's this great story I love, and there's a great saint in India, and he was experiencing a lot of hatred towards him. Yes, even saints get hatred thrown at them. And this saint, was the wise saint, and he didn't react. He was indifferent. He was neutral. And he also realized that somehow that was something coming back to him. Even though he had reached his sainthood, he still had repercussions coming back to him. And he was able to deal with it in a very enlightened way. But this saint also decided He's told his people, said, just leave them. And then after a while, he said, go and offer them some food and drink, right? Just offer them a gift, right? Because they're wanting attention. And if you're offering something nourishing back to them, that's going to even more pacify them and even bring them into harmony with you. So that's my take on how to deal with haters and how to really be that pillar of harmony as a leader. And please like this post. If you like this post, it really means something to me, and hopefully that helps other people be inspired by this message. And love any comments or questions.